Of course. It's a souped-up version of Al-Qaeda, just rebranded and with some new marketing factors being, entering into the equation. And of course, after having, 14 years since 9/11, it's much easier to sell it to people today. You can sell more. You kind of increase, the oomph of it because they are likelier to buy. I mean, you have entire new generation that grew up since 9/11. Yep. And they have been reading every day on the newspaper, if they read newspapers, or in the social media and social networks and the TV, even all the sitcoms from 24 to dozens of others, the word terrorist, Middle Eastern, Islamic terrorist, and so it won't be a hard sell. It's a war that has been, again, as I said, dates back all the way to 1950s, but since 9/11, it has become a major brand that is being sold to the public, and as a result, justify trillions and trillions of dollars that are being spent, given to military-industrial complex and related organization, intelligence complex, and their contractors, subcontractors. So it's a trillions and trillions of dollar economy created. It's the regional geostrategic dominance because, they can't come and say, we're going to go and take over Syria and we're going to divide it into three because even with its apathy today, especially people here in the United States, it would be a hard sell, maybe not impossible, but hard. But you create synthetically these events and the synthetic brands and the terror groups and the synthetically created events. Then you show it and you say, because of this is happening there, we are going, and these people have nuclear and biological and chemical weapons, and some of them have blue eyes. They can blend in, come here to the United States and blow up this elementary school in Iowa. They have that kind of a reach. They get public's cheer and consent to go and send drones and bomb and take over nations. That has become the pretext, that has become the justification. It was for Iraq right immediately after 9/11, even though Iraq had nothing to do with any of these events. And then Afghanistan and Libya, and now it's Syria. There is Yemen there, because anytime anybody in the U.S. pauses and say, what the heck, why are we going and bombing the hell out of Yemen? They have nothing. It's this poor nation out in the middle of the desert. We can turn around and say, look, they have the ISIS brand there, and that ISIS brand is going to come and get you in Iowa. And then they say, oh, no, please, we don't want that. So go bomb them, do whatever you must, because they really look scary.
Yeah, and they're scaring people in the United States, but even in Canada here, there was a warning about someone saying they were going to target the West Edmonton Mall specifically, and so the Conservative government here has been using that as an election platform. We're going to get ISIS, and they passed Bill C-51, which is similar to the Patriot Act.
Sure.
So it's working on the Western nations. The people. I don't know how much people are buying it. Not people I'm close with, but there's got to be a lot of people who buy into those brands.
Absolutely. I would say the majority. At least I can speak for the people here in the United States. Mm-hmm. It's first of all, for them it's easy to digest, and most people here have been systematically stripped off of their critical thinking ability. And they just want some sound bites from the mainstream media. They want sound bites from their TV news. It's really blurry, the difference between fiction-based sitcoms and what you watch on these types of news with, let's say, CBS or NBC. Mm-hmm. It's very, very blurry, and they work hand in hand, and they accept it. And then we have to admit, they have created, especially since 9/11, an entire industry, from intelligence complex to military-industrial complex, as I said, contractors, subcontractors, you are looking at domestically, at least here in the United States, in trillions of dollars. And then if you start going outward and internationally in terms of gaining dominance in the region, and whether it's, with Iraq and Syria and the Middle East, or what's going to come, and it has been at work in Central Asia. Ukraine kind of quieted down, but we actually got what we wanted to get out of that. Next, we are going to see, and that's my prediction, we are going to see some unrest in Georgia, because there are going to be these so-called terror events that are going to be blamed on some ferocious Chechen faction that may be collaborating with ISIS faction, and that's going to lead to Georgia's becoming formally, officially accepted into NATO as a member. We already have troops in Georgia. It's already on its way in terms of the base, and so that's what we are going to see in that region. With Middle East, Iran has been placed on a back burner. Again, it's temporary. It is completely strategic. We created a president's legacy that made peace with Iran. That is going to be coming back and becoming an issue again within the second or third year of the next coming president. It's until it's all done with Iran. But most importantly, we have two regions that people here in the United States, I'm not sure about Canada, they don't ever get to hear. One is Central Asia / Caucasus region, backdoor of Russia. And the other one is the Turkestan, Uyghuristan, the Uyghur region of China. In China, it's called Xinjiang region. Again, people don't hear much about that region and what has been happening. We have been training and putting in place various terrorist units in that region, and with the goal that just like Taiwan, we have this separation between that region, because those are Muslim Uyghur people, that part of Russia and Xinjiang, and put our military base over there. And people may think this is far-reaching, but if they start going and digging, and today with technology we can research it, they will see why it is so important, and in the past 10, 15 years, how we have been approaching and moving towards that objective. That has been an objective, but the implementation of the operations that are going to take us to the end game with that objective over there, and that's going to be the subject of my coming book, hopefully next year this time.
You've been listening to the Global Research News Hour. You can listen to our programs every week on CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg and on partnering radio stations across Canada and the United States. We are now also broadcast on the Progressive Radio Network at prn.fm. You can also download each episode from the website globalresearch.ca. To leave feedback on this program, email globalresearchnewshour@gmail.com. Many thanks to this week's guest interviewer, John Wilson. I'm series host, creator, and producer Michael Welch. Join us again next week.